it may not go against you fast at first, so you'll take a little heat, because it'll go against you a little bit, and then all of a sudden it goes a little more and a little more, and you kind of get like it feels like a hypnotism sort of thing, where you get caught in this downward spiral. You know it's a loser. You've confirmed that it's a loser. Just sitting there looking at the prices go further and further against you, and it just feels almost like sometimes you can't get out.
Say you're down like $12,000. You're like, I should walk out of here. I should realize, I'm past my limit and walk out of here. What's the next thing you do? You're like, well, what the hell? Just, I'll buy a couple more. And then wham, it goes again. And the thing that goes through your head is like, all right, how much am I losing right now? There goes a car. There goes a house. It's like someone hitting you in the balls, never ending. It's like wham, wham. It's like, okay.
Nobody can get you down the amount of money that you're going to be down the day. Only you can do that. And it's funny when you see something happen to somebody else.
It's very, very public. And so those guys that saw you lose money will probably, twist that knife in your side and say, boy, they looked pretty good an hour ago, didn't they, Pete? That's a vindictive crowd. It really is.
There's a joke that we always used to say when you go on the floor, you've got the scan card, and you've got to scan your way in. Well, if you scan it and you look down and the light's red, the guy behind you is like, ooh, bad day yesterday? Or how you looking there? You're like, oh, no, it's good. You're like, come on. And it goes green. You're like, all right, yes. They're alive for another day.
There were a lot of times when the markets got very volatile that you wouldn't see a guy the next day. And you knew he lost what he could lose.
Valentine's Day, 1994. I had a little position on in the yen. The Japanese and the Americans were trying to make a trade deal, and they kept extending the deadline. And finally, they said, there's not going to be a deal. So when we walked in on that Monday, our market was limit up. So that position immediately was like 40,000 against me. And it was rallying. That's $1,000 a point. So every time it rallied 1 point higher, I lost another $1,000. Well, it rallied 100 points. It was $150,000. It was pretty crushing, the feeling of despair where, oh my God, I've lost everything. We had basically moved back in with my parents. Ready? Tee number 1. I think we should walk over this way. So I went out and got a job as a clerk, making, $400 a week. At one point, my wife was drunk and, she said, yeah, you're nothing but a fucking clerk. I think she really expected bigger and better things. Okay, I'll play that one. What's really nice is when the weather's a little warmer, but it's too cold for everybody else, you get the whole course to yourself. When the split came, it was pretty devastating for me. I hugged my kids. That kind of kept me going. It was like, well, I can't just give up now because they're depending on me. All I know is that when I was a little kid, I wanted to be a dad. From the earliest childhood, I had a lot of brothers, and I wanted to be a father. You know how to use that? Okay. Well, you just go to the bank and put it in, punch in that number when it asks. It's going to ask you what you want to do. You want to checking, withdrawal, and then punch in the number, how much. Okay? When you put the card in, you put the card in and you take it out. You don't just leave it in there.
Should I go get cash with that too?
With the card? Mm-hmm. No, get cash and pay cash. Okay. All right?
When I was in preschool, he came in and spoke to our class, I remember. And he just had everyone stand up and yell as loud as they could. And that was basically what I figured he did all day. I didn't really know.
rough. Our markets are real thin, and it was just a tough week. By the end of the week, I was asking people, you know, how are you doing? How's it going in there for you? And every one of them was just like, it's brutal. It's brutal in there. I'm on with 3 brokers, so I have one broker on my right, one on my left, and I'm on the headset with a 3rd broker. Sometimes I have to flip the headset and say, hey, you know, can you hang on a second? I'm getting my asshole ripped open right here. I'll get right back to you as soon as I get done, you know. It's like that. The lottery is like $320 million right now. So I bought a ticket for that. When I played lottery before, when I was married before, I always would buy the ticket thinking, you know, I really hope that I don't win, because I felt like it would change my life. I just felt like it would change my life to where I wouldn't be happy. Well, I'll take the chance now.
And you will have a big loss. And it's how fast did you cut your losses when you started to incur those big losses, and then hopefully you didn't have something like a drug addiction, an alcohol addiction, which break traders down.
And there was an incident where somebody had dropped drugs, yet nobody, and everybody's looking at it, and nobody would pick it up because nobody wanted to, you know, be incriminated by what was going on. So everybody's sitting there looking at the drugs. Nobody would pick it up.
Drugs and alcohol is a horrible stereotype of this business. I think that the high-strung type A people, you know, gravitate towards that, whether it's this industry or the sports industry or the film industry or, you know, insurance. It doesn't matter. I mean, those people, I think, you know, that's a functionality of the personality, not necessarily the industry.
Okay. You know, they hit me at the Merc, by the way. All I know is when I first walk in, every mother, can I say fucker, has a Rolex on their hand. And I'm like, looking at it, and that's all I could think about when I first started trading. Everybody's got more on their wrist than I got in my account. I thought it was just like, you know what, I could beat these guys. And I swear to God that 99% still don't get it. When you win, you start betting less. Bet more. I mean, there's one roll that you can make $100,000 off. Let it ride. If you roll 3 6s in a row, let it ride. Let it, the winner's ride. Money gets you super checks. I'm talking, I fucked the Playmate. Isn't that what every guy's fucking dream is? Right? The only thing about trading is just don't lose money. When you lose money, it changes everything. You can't keep going losing money and expect to live the same life. Somehow God or somehow some spiritual thing just whacks you. Or you want to buy something expensive because you've made it, and you've made enough money to buy it. You start losing every day. You buy a house, can't make any money anymore. You go on an expensive vacation, but as soon as you say you're over the hump, I don't know.
How do you deal with that? How do you deal with
I didn't have to. Make money every day.
Did you make money every day?
For a long time, yes.
Did you, what happened? You don't trade now. Do you trade now?
Cut.